Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining. If you are trying to learn what DeepSeek is and how to run it, then this is the video for you. You might have already heard about DeepSeek, so it's making wave everywhere from newspaper to television. So this is a new AI assistant from a Chinese startup that's been making headlines lately. In fact, it just became the top free app on Apple's iPhone store soon after its launch of DeepSeek R1, which is pretty impressive. It is the newest front in the AI competition. DeepSeek has models from text generation, image generation, and coding. Its AI models are open source, with one of their most capable being DeepSeek R1, which was released on January 2025. DeepSeek R1 is designed to be a strong competitor to other AI models such as from OpenAI GPT-4, O1 Mini or O1 model, and also a Claude from Anthropic. DeepSeek R1 offers advanced reasoning capabilities, making it a notable alternative to other models in the AI space. It has a comparable performance, like I mentioned earlier, with OpenAI's O1 model on reasoning, math, and coding tasks, which is very, very impressive compared to being this is the open source compared to the proprietary model. And why it's important, right? So it's very important to talk about that, why we just care about DeepSeek. One major thing is that it's open source. You can use the model weights code available for free and under MIT license, and you can download it from Hugging Face and tweak it and deploy it and commercialize it yourself. The other thing is that it demonstrates that high performance AI models can be developed with fewer resources, and that kind of like challenge existing AI development that's happening when we talk about proprietary models, OpenAI, Claude, and Gemini, and so on. And of course, it delivers the answers to your questions with efficient manner. DeepSeek has open sourced several advanced AI models, including DeepSeek R1, DeepSeek R1, and others like six distill models, which range from 1.5 billion parameter model to 70 billion parameter model. And you may ask, like, what are the distill models, right? So the distill models are streamlined version of larger AI models, and they are created through a process called knowledge distillation. The idea is that these smaller models are trained to replicate the performance of their larger counterparts, offering similar capabilities with enhanced efficiency. So you might think about teacher model being the larger counterpart, whereas student model being the distill model. And the student model is actually created through the process called knowledge distillation, and transfer of the knowledge is happening in the process. So these digital models, if you compare like some of the models such as 32 billion parameter model or 70 billion parameter model, they perform better than OpenAI's O1 mini model, which is a proprietary model, as shown in here as well. Not only that, they just dropped a brand new image generator model called Janus Pro 7 billion parameter model, and according to the company, it's actually outperforming some of the other competition. So if you are into image generation, and then of course please try out Janus Pro 7 billion parameter model, and this is also available as open source. So how to access DeepSeek? One way of accessing DeepSeek is pretty simple way, which is via platform. You can just go to deepseek.com and then create an account and use it as ChatGPT. You'll have access to V3 model, DeepSeek V3, and also DeepSeek R1 model, which is the latest model. The other way is to use mobile application. You can just search for DeepSeek and you can just chat on the go from there. The third option is using API, like you use the OpenAI. So you can also create an account and use it via API. However, you it may charge you something about per token that you have used, although it's much less than compared to OpenAI's API call. If you are into using the models more secure fashion in local environment, like in a local laptop or computer, then LM Studio is the way to go. LM Studio is basically a tool that lets you run AI models right on your computer without needing the cloud. It makes it super easy to download, manage, and chat with open source model like Llama, Mistral, including, of course, DeepSeek. So, one thing I want to emphasize is that if you want to experiment with AI locally, keep things private or just mess around without, setting up a complicated environment, then LM Studio is a great way to do it. It's recommended to have the RAM size of about 16 gigabyte to run some of these AI models. Just keep that in mind. The other way of running local model is using Olama. So you can just download Olama going to olama.com, and then you can just use some of the basic commands just to run it. I will talk more about how to run via using Olama in the next video, but this is another way. I just wanted to mention that you can run through the Olama, although it's not like as interactive as LM Studio. However, there is another user interface called Open Web UI, which is in the backend. There is Olama model. You can use it through that way as well. You have to install Open Web UI and maybe Docker, and then you should be able to download all the open source model there based on your hardware on your computer available, like RAM and storage and so on. So let's talk about how we can run some of these command in DeepSeek. I just wanted to give you quick rundown of using DeepSeek if you have never used it. So first thing, if you go to deepseek.com, it will take you here. You need to create an account, and once you create an account, if you click on that, then that will take you here. I have already created an account, so that's why I'm here in this page. So you can see that DeepSeek R1 is highlighted here. If you don't click on that, then the default version is DeepSeek V3 model is used, which don't have the reasoning capability. But if you want to use the reasoning capability within this model, then you have to click on this. And if you want to search for current information, then you probably want to use this search. Click on this one and it goes to the internet, find the answer for you. Let's try to understand how DeepSeek work. If I type in hi, and see, it says that it's thinking, and okay, the user saying hi, that's a common greeting. I should respond a friendly welcoming manner. So it says hello, how can I assist you today. So it's thinking in the process, right? So if I ask like what is AI, then again it's thinking in the process. It takes a while to think, and then it says like, okay, the user asks what is AI. After our initial greeting, I need to start by defining AI clearly. Let me break it down into simple terms. AI stands for artificial intelligence. So, and it thinks through, and it gives you actually the step-by-step process, like how it thought through, right, to come up with your answer. Unlike in ChatGPT, we don't know what's happening in the behind the scene, although there is a reasoning model, but that doesn't give you the step-by-step process. But here you can see all the steps defined. I mean, all the steps clearly mentioned here, like how DeepSeek came up with the answer, and finally it gives you the answer here, like AI key concepts and so on. Similarly, let's try the last one. I want to ask write an email to my professor about going to a conference related to data science. Write in concise form, right? Something like that. So now it's thinking, okay, the user wants to write a concise email to their professor about attending a data science conference. Let me start by understanding the requirements, right? So now it's trying to understand that first the email needs to be brief. We talked about that. Professors are busy, so keeping it short is important, and so on, right? I should check if the user mentioned any specific details. Next, the structure of the email, and so on. So it thought through that process and gives you the answer here. Request to attend conference, right? And the name. Dear professor, I hope this email finds you well. I'm writing to request permission to attend conference, and so on. It gives you the pretty good template. Actually, you can use it, change it around, make it your own, and then send it to your professor. This is how it works. I just went through the process of going through the DeepSeek, how it thinks, and hopefully it gave you some idea about using DeepSeek. And I will cover how to use locally in my future video, and also comparing between DeepSeek and ChatGPT, how they think differently, and in the next coming video. So stay tuned for that. I hope you like the video. Thank you so much for joining. I'll talk to you later. Thank you. Bye.